We have heard several times tonight that there is a tremendous amount of waste in government. How would you respond to elected officials charging golf outings, country club dinners, and other social outings to their taxpayers? What would you do to end this practice? And we'll start out to our state Senate candidates. We'll start out with Mr. Bushwell.
I believe that any elected official who uses taxpayer money to pay for golf outings, trips, club dues to private clubs, member parties at country clubs and so forth, is behaving very, very poorly and is not in a very good position to make judgments about waste and abuse and fraud in government. I honestly do not know where this question came from, but my opponent, while he was mayor, engaged in those very activities. I would draw your attention to stories in the Delaware State News in September of 2003 that fully exposed the very irresponsible spending habits of my opponent in this regard.
Thank you, Mr. Bushwell. Mr. Hutchison.
What should clearly happen anytime that you have an expense account in every single department throughout the state of Delaware, you should have clearly written policies and procedures in which will allow funds to be used and what they are allowed to be used for. And with regards to the comment made by my opponent, during the 5 years or 10 years that I served as mayor of the city of Dover, I had a $5,000 a year expense account, and each and every year there was absolutely no policy or directive written in place for those funds to be used. Those funds came from the City of Dover Council. And as a result, I used those funds to enhance the City of Dover, not to enhance Hutch, to take care of the City of Dover and promote the City of Dover. And as far as and the policy did come later, and we certainly followed the policy. What I did certainly was not incorrect.
Thank you, Mr. Hutchison. Rebuttal, Mr. Bushwell.
It's true, as best I understand it, that there were no policies in effect at the time my opponent was mayor initially with regard to his spending habits, which is why it is so important that we have people who understand what's right and what's wrong and don't depend on policies to determine how they're going to spend the taxpayer money. The fact is, there was almost $5,000 spent on golf outings alone. And there was thousands of other dollars spent over the years on other things, as I was saying.
Do I have a comment on that?
Thank you, Mr. Rebuttal, Mr. Hutchison.
I think that we need to go check the record. There was never no $5,000 spent for coffee, Mr. Bushwell.
We can only have one rebuttal.